How you doing? This is Artie Hoffman. I am the hottest psychic with the warmest heart, and I'm on iHeartRadio with the segment of Passage to Profit.
Welcome to Passage to Profit, a show about entrepreneurs and new businesses. Tonight we have as our guest entrepreneur, Artie Hoffman. Artie has been a master-level psychic, medium, and spiritual advisor for over 2 decades, and has helped change the lives of thousands of individuals who have turned to him for answers and guidance. His strong faith and natural intuitiveness, coupled with his ability to provide emotional understanding, makes him the preeminent spiritual therapist with foresight.
Wow, you just made me sound really good. Can I hear that again?
Sure.
My head's getting bigger. Oh wait, spiritual. Bring it in. No ego here.
That is so funny because talking before the show, I mean, you're really such a relaxed, humble kind of guy. So to say you have a big ego just doesn't seem to fit with you at all. So.
Yeah, it's been my whole life wanting to be a therapist for people, going through high school, junior high school and stuff. And scholastics was not my thing. And patience is definitely is a virtue in my life, like most people. Yeah. And so here I am, one day where I'm having a conversation with God. Everything was going great in my life, I didn't go to college to do what I do. I didn't go to college. I told people I went to the University of Boston, Maryland for 2 years, but that was just to visit my friends. No, so the cool thing is, so here I am, everything at a certain point in my life when I was 27 years old, we're talking 30 years ago, so when I was about 27 years old, I'm having a conversation with God, and things were going good, but yet something wasn't fulfilled in my life. And I said, God, I need answers, I need clear answers. I said, please don't scare the hell out of me when you give me these answers. And so literally I walk upstairs, because I was in my home office in the basement. I walk upstairs to where the kitchen is, and I'm sifting through all my junk mail, and there's a little postcard there that says, how would you like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness? Go to the Edgar Cayce Foundation for this 1 weekend seminar. So I'm looking at it, not like it's the answer to my prayers. I'm looking at it, I go, wow, that looks interesting. I didn't know you could learn how to do this. I figured either you had it or you didn't. So I asked my wife, who was my wife at the time, I says, you want to go to this? This looks interesting. She goes, I don't give a crap about that. You can go if you want. I don't want no part of it. So I said, all right. So I went there.
I didn't know there was like psychic training. I thought all of you went to Tibet or mountains or something.
Yeah, no, well, actually, there are people who are born. I have friends who are born with it. God bless their souls. And then there are friends who literally had near-death experiences and they came back with the gift. And for me, I just kind of worked at it. I did it just for the hell of it. I did it just to see if I can do it, just out of curiosity. And that one weekend, I did go to Virginia Beach for that 1 weekend seminar, and it literally changed my life forever. And they got you into that mode where, they said just be 100% unconditional with your thoughts and with your feelings and just share it with the person. Because they had you break up into groups. There was 50 of us from all different parts of the country. And so people were telling me how accurate I was. And I go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I went home and I got myself a deck of spiritual cards. And I was reading for friends and family for a few years, just for the fun of it. And again, people were telling me how accurate I was. And I was like blown away. I really was. They're saying, oh, wow, Art, you're good, you're good, you're good. But again, I don't take it in because it was like high school. If I didn't get the answers from somewhere else, I wasn't passing. Wow. So these angels and the spirits would be giving me all this information. I've given people medical advice. I've given people, legal advice. I've given people, and I say, listen, I didn't go to Harvard or Yale, but sometimes I think I'm better than these guys.
So can you give us an example of someone you helped, like something that you told them that you kind of ferreted out through the angels coming through your mind and was able to help them with?
Yeah, that's literally every reading. But I'll go with something that I thought of coming here today. And again, this is one of the blessings. I've read for over 28,000 people in my career, and so there was this one fella after I gave him a reading, and he said to me, he goes, Art, he goes, the words that you just expressed to me, he goes, you changed my life. He goes, I was going to kill myself tomorrow. I had a letter written out and everything, and now I don't want to do it.
Wow.
And so
So what did you tell him?
Mhm.
What did you say to him? That
I gave him a healthy perspective about how his life is going to be. And I gave him a different perception of his own life and life itself. And, people who do unfortunately choose to take their lives, what happens is that people, like God gives you free will to do with whatever you want, and He loves you unconditionally. But all He says to every single soul, and it's a known fact to every soul on a subconscious level, that you're just responsible for all your actions. I'll let you do with whatever you want, and I love you no matter what your choices are, even if it's painful. I love you no matter what. However, when people kill themselves, what happens, they think, you know what, I'm out of here, I can't deal with it. So what happens is that they will be reborn into another family that will lead them to the exact same circumstances they try to run away from until they deal with what they've created to begin with.
So
So that's heavy stuff, but that's... So I give people these deep spiritual meanings. That's just about that one topic. There's many, many, many different aspects in
So-
regards to life and love and everything. But it's not so much as the problems that's the problems in life. It's your perception of how you deal with someone or something is what gives you the quality of life to be able to deal with whatever.
I can see how understanding and having more knowledge can really change a person's life. And this person must have thought or appreciated that he was going to have to deal with these things either now or later, and he chose to deal with them now, right? So
Right. And so, for those people who unfortunately are choosing, almost to cut out of life, it's like, well, then why don't you just pack up and move to Hawaii? We're going to not be with your family or friends anyway. Why don't you just pack up and go to Arizona or to a different part of the country and then figure it out right from scratch? What difference does it make? And then you'll just regroup yourself. Sometimes you have to be away from the people who are around you your whole life because there's so much judgment. There's fear and judgment. So sometimes you have to regroup yourself and not be judged by people who don't know you from Shanghai. So some people will think that you're the worst son of a gun in the world, and other people will think that you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Everybody has a different perception of you according to their, relationship with you.
So I always felt like some of that came from connections on the spiritual plane, because some people I can meet and it's almost like I know them already.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from a previous, a lot of times it's from a previous life.
Well, you and I had spoken about what my daughter used to say when she was little, which I never explored and I wish I had. She used to say to me, Mom, do you remember when I was the mama and you were the baby? You said you've heard that before.
Yeah, I have, because kids do have that understanding about life on the big picture, and the little ones can easily see spirits who make themselves known, and animals do too, where they see spirits who come back from, well, if you want to call it the dead, but we really never die. What happens is that it's not, we are not of our body. We are the spirit. We're the soul within the body. Our body is what we use to express ourselves. So once the body dies, the soul and the spirit will lift up out of the body and then continues in a different energy form, in a different light form. But it's the body that dies. It's not the person that dies.
So do you go into a different mode when you're trying to do a reading?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Can you describe that? What it's like for us when that happens?
Yeah, I don't remember anything when I read people. I don't. Hey Artie, you just read to me a few weeks ago, but do you? And then you want to. I have no clue what I said because I was in a different zone. The only reason why I remember so many cool stories is because when I'm in a conscious state of mind, and people will come back to me and say, "Hey Artie, do you remember you said this and this happened and that happened?" And I go, "Oh, cool." So, that's really cool. So, yes, fill in the white shirt. What was your question again?
In previous shows, we've had people say entrepreneurs really need to follow their passion. And I asked you if you were working when you did this and then just took the plunge in this, and you had a very interesting story.
Yeah, so it's all about passion. It's all about passion. Anything that you do in life, the reason why I got to be good at what I do is because I just loved helping people. The interesting thing is I never went to college for this, but now I have therapists who do come see me for answers. And so that, and I have other psychics and mediums come see me for answers. So that is a tremendous, what's the word I'm looking for? It's complimentary.
Right.
It's very
an
gratifying.
acknowledgement.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
It's an acknowledgement.
Yeah, I'll take English words for 100, please.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who has to ask that question once in a while.
So tell us about what you were doing before you plunged into this.
Oh, really? So before I did, so I have a window cleaning power washing business, and the name of it is called Peeping Tom's Window Cleaning, and and so, but this is something that I do, and I tell people just because I do what I do and I help people. And I always tell people, and I mean this with all my heart, I'm not better than anybody else just because I do with what I do. Because a lot of people have a habit of putting me on a pedestal, and that's not the case. But it's just like if you're a good, if you want to be a good teacher, a good plumber, a good anything, I just happen to get into the spirituality aspect of it, and I've learned to develop my mind to be able to be a good receiver from the spiritual world. It was really interesting. I'm at an ice cream store, and I'm having my cone. I'm about to get in the car, and there's a string of people up along the wall sitting on the bench at the ice cream place. I'm about to get in, and she looks at me, and she looks at my car, and she goes, "Hey," she goes, "I like your license plate because it says I just know." And so I said, I have that there because I said I'm a psychic. She goes, "Yeah, I know, you read for me a few years ago." I go, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah," and she pointed to her husband right next to her, and she goes, "You predicted him, and you even told me that his letter started with the letter J, and his name is Jay. And then you told me his profession, and that's what he does. He's like, I don't know, carpenter, I forgot what she said, but I said, "Oh, cool." So
Can you do a reading for me right now?
can I do a reading for you right now?
Yeah.
All right, hold it. Let me zero in. I will say this. The reason why you are very successful is because you do care so much about other people. And, you're not just all business. Yes, you're a good business person, but the thing that makes you a step above other people, and I'm not just saying this to put a feather in your cap, is that you really are genuine as far as caring about other people. And so you go the extra distance, and, and you do think heads up, and people appreciate that about you. And I feel like sometimes when you get in those staunch moods, like those hard moods, people misinterpret you, but you're so passionate about what you do. It's like when you're focused on something, there's no waving you. It's like you could be very, very stubborn, Yeah. I promise you, she didn't pay me $500 to say that.
I was just going to say, you totally get me. I mean, that's really
but
me in a nutshell.
Yeah, and when you believe in something, it's like I don't care, and like let's take the risk or let's go for it. It's worth it. It's like you made a very good life and a living based on your hunches. And even when people try to talk you out of things from the yesteryears, it's like I don't care. I'm still doing what I got to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to say because I couldn't have said that myself, but it's like 100,000%.
Do you want me to do your introduction for the show?
Okay, can you read me?
Can I read you? Let me hold your hand for a second. Okay. You care differently than how other people care, and people misconstrue you. I don't know if I said that word right. And I see you getting very agitated. It's like, I do care. But because somebody else has different expectations on what they want from you, and you don't always pull through in the way that they want, or you think differently, it's like people or this person is thinking that you don't care, but you do care, but you spread your energy very thin. And so I don't know if I'm talking about one particular person or if this is a family matter, but you do things in your own style, but you're not always one to just follow according to what everybody else thinks. But you take care of things in the manner of what you feel is most efficient, and but you have your own way. And a lot of times you're nurturing in your ways, and other times you're not. And so that's why people will misjudge you in the way that you go about things. Does that sound about right?
Interesting. Yes, I don't think many people understand me.
Yeah.
Especially not my husband. I'm just kidding.
It's like you do care. It's like as soon as I held her hand, I'm hearing, but I do care. And it's like, no, you don't. And because she has her own style of doing things, or she'll put other things as a different priority to take care of, but she never forgets, and she does come around. But because that wasn't a priority, it's like, oh, you don't care.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's
think that,
interesting.
yeah, I think there was a lot of truth in what you said there. So I'm becoming an Artie believer.
I see.
I see the light.
So you do parties, right?
Yeah, I do Artie parties. Yes, I do. I travel all over to do. People hire me, and I go to their homes, and and I read for their friends and family. Some of them are groups where everyone's in the same room, and then other times it's individual readings. Where they'll pick a room and I'll just read for them individually, and everyone will get a recording. And I also do individual readings where, private readings, whether it be over the phone. I'm just as accurate over the phone as I am in person. And my place is in Woodbridge, New Jersey, so if people want to come to my home office in Woodbridge, I do it there too. So, and people a lot of times say, well, how do you read people when they're not there with you? Because it's from soul to soul, spirit to spirit. Has nothing to do with the physical world. And then there are religious people who say, oh, what you do for a living, that's so sacrilegious, or it's against God. And so my answer to that is, well, I've helped heal so many people emotionally and physically that if you're saying that it was the devil's work, then I have to shake his hand and thank him. But it's all what your intentions are behind your actions is what makes something right or wrong. So long as you have a pure heart at whatever it is you're doing with the best of intentions, then it's the right thing to do.
I couldn't agree more. And you brought with you a book. Can you tell us a little bit about the book? We're getting toward the end of our segment here.
Yeah, I have a book called Angels and Answers that I wrote. And it's to help people look at their life and life itself from a healthy perspective. And there's a lot of beautiful passages here. And it also talks about certain saints and certain angels. And but like I said, there's a lot of beautiful poetry, there's a lot of beautiful thoughts, and a lot of topics where people are stuck within their own life or stuck in their relationship. And this book helps explain things like in black and white. It's a very easy book to read. And you'll get it. So again, but this whole book I was channeled, and I just wrote it, and it came out beautifully. I get inspired by, if I'm listening to a song, watching a TV show, watching a movie, or a moment happen with me and someone else, and I just get inspired, and I just end up writing.
So how can people find you if they want to book you for a reading?
Oh yeah, thank you. They could either go to artiehoffman.com, ARTIEHOFFMAN, or email me, artiehoffman@gmail.com, and my phone number is 732-778-7173.
Great.
Yeah, I don't have one of those 1-900 numbers for $35 a minute. You call me, and I'll straighten out your butt.
Well, I think we are going to have an Artie party at the law firm.
Awesome.
Because that
Awesome.
is just so much fun. And
It is. It's very. You'll see. It is a fun. It's not. I'm not all serious. If you haven't noticed, the spirits do have a sense of humor.
And maybe we can get our walls power washed or something.
There you go.
so Artie, is this patent going to be allowed?
Please, help me. What do I have to do? Signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm yours. Or was that already taken?